Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in a little bit more in depth on the traits and qualities of the narcissist and really what happens when they get sick. How do they treat themselves? How do they treat others? Particularly in health issues that they might experience or use an excuse. Things like hypochondriac, the situation where someone might feign an illness or feel like they're always going to get, hurt, injured, sick. And so they end up limiting themselves, preventing themselves from participating in certain activities, exercises, ongoings with the family or others in the relationship. And, when we discuss the covert narcissist, when we talk about narcissism in general, realize that there's a physiological deficit in the mind and in the gray matter of the narcissist, which has slowed activity, most generally from lack of use, as a viewer had astutely mentioned. So if they don't have, certain lack of empathy for others, there's a certain degree of, exchange that goes with how they relate to illness within themselves. And the narcissist, in terms of, how they relate to themselves, a lot of the covert narcissists that I have encountered and work with, one, they get extremely frustrated when they get sick. They're not good patients. They don't feel like they've deserved to be sick. They find it difficult to manage and care for the symptoms in a sort of humane, sort of self-compassionate way, self-nurturing way, or they tend to mechanize their care, being almost, treating it like they're washing a table, just the way, very objectively and coldly, self-referential in that respect. But in terms of hypochondria, when someone is feigning a back issue, that is, purely a self-limiting mentality. So in other words, rather than having to push themselves to fulfill an obligation, rather than having to really step up to the plate, so to speak, rather than having to really work hard and be there for people or accomplish certain things, the fear of like, I don't want to push myself, I don't want to overdo it. These sometimes are the common complaints you hear from the narcissist, who essentially doesn't want to overexert themselves. They just don't want to do more than what is required. So if you find that you have a narcissist with a sort of hypochondriac situation, realize it's a self-limiting excuse that they will give, that they don't want to push themselves, they don't want to exert themselves, they don't want to injure themselves, but yet they can really work through it if they had to. So it is what it is. It's essentially a way, it's a cop-out, it's a defense mechanism so that they can, essentially live in denial and not have to be responsible for some of the everyday normal things that they might not find interesting. So the covert narcissist also, they tend to exhibit, a certain amount of disinterest or boredom with certain things that are fundamentally important, such as, taking care of the house, certain everyday responsibilities. So they tend to lack quite a degree of interest. So, if you see that they're kind of copping out or being irresponsible, it's because there's nothing really in it for them. They're not getting, they either feel that they're above it, and if that's the case, then they should hire somebody, so if they're going to be responsible, then, have them hire somebody so the job can get done and they're not just living out excuse and pushing the envelope on someone else. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.